never heard of this ever before. They have no idea what this is. You know, what do you say to them, G? You know, how do you start it off? What's the first thing you'd say to them? If you could give us a presentation, if you like, a verbal presentation of where do you begin when you explain to someone who has absolutely no idea of what's going on in this area?
Well, I go, depending on the person, always when I read both. So if I'm talking to them, you know, I get into that subject one way or another, I see where they're at. So if they're thinking you can't clone at all, it's never been done, I go to the history of cloning. So bacteria was cloned, you know, way back in, shortly after they found out about, you know, DNA. They actually started cloning bacteria. And then, of course, there's Dolly the sheep that was cloned, and you know, people can look at it very easily and see that they cloned out. If you give me a screen share, I can actually pull that up really quick to just show a little thing on that. So here, you know, just go. Dolly, this cloning Dolly sheep. So Dolly the sheep, since 1996, when Dolly was born, the other sheep, they clone from adult cells. They've also done that with cats, rabbits, horses, dogs, pigs, goats, cattle, etc. Mouse, 2004, was cloned using a nucleus of the cell. And then you can go read the article there. You know, just click on that. There's the article about cloning Dolly the sheep. And then furthermore, you can go look into other cloning that they've done through here. And so you can also go to clone and cloning, the history of cloning. All I did is put history of cloning in. 1958, cloning began. 1964, cloning of animal cells. They've already gotten down to where they're cloning it here in Japan from cells found in cow's milk. And so, you know, obviously this has been coming a long time. It's not something brand spanking new. And then most people are familiar with the movie The Boys from Brazil. Actually, a lot of movies are just the deep state revealing it, so that if the information comes out, they can just say that's a movie, that's not real. But that was real. They cloned 90, I think it was 94, 96, somewhere in there, one of those two. You can read this article, it's in here. Copies of Hitler, and put them in families, 94. So into situations, and then killed, you know, the certain people that Hitler lost in his life, primary people, so that they would have the same environment growing up. And so this is, you know, going into The Boys from Brazil in that movie. The actors, here's the cast, and that going into that cloning situation. So, you know, you can look up how, you know, Dolly and all that was cloned, and all of that information is very, very easy to find. And then another thing I'll go into, if they seem to be pretty wide open about it, is I'll talk about the different types of clones. So a lot of people are familiar with, like, the situation and where one of our presidents went to China and he threw up on the premier of China because he was a type of clone that's known as a robotoid that they make at Bethesda in Maryland, where they put somebody in a booth that hits them with a low-level particle beam that doesn't, it just passes through, and it analyzes their genetics, and it downloads all of their memories, thoughts, feelings, emotions, everything. And then it puts that on a hard drive or a floppy, and then they take the person out, and the particle beam is upped in power, and it literally, almost like Star Trek, you know, beaming, but you're not beaming anybody, you're literally from energy creating a matter copy. And those copies, of course, don't have an internal power supply, so they, like in the movie Tron, they start to de-res over time. So they have to go back to Camp David on a regular basis to get recharged. And so in the situation where that president was visiting and he threw up, it was because during his speech, and that's why you see now presidents have two items on each side of them. It's to keep this from happening, to reflect those beams. that they hit him with a sonic beam that was at his resonant frequency, which would have killed him. But because he was a robotoid type clone, he was starting to de-res. His frequency was dropped down, so it made him very ill. So later he threw up, and then at the meal, he slid under the table. I'm pretty sure it was China. Might have been Japan, maybe slightly off. They stole a little bit out. I'm pretty sure it was China. And then go into the next type of clone that Donald Marshall goes into, which is Vril. And Vril were found when they were making the dumps, and especially the maglevs, and going through all the old tunnels and mine shafts. They use a lot of mining areas and a lot of the old mines and old tunnels and things. They found this little tiny, about 2 to 3 foot type of lizard kind of creature, reptile. And on top of its head, it had a proboscis. And one of the people that was involved, one of them got on his face and injected down his optic nerve some materials. And those materials went into the person's brain, and he died. But he came back to life, a little over a week later. But he was different. And what had happened is the Vril, kind of like the old movie Pod People, except in this case it literally reanimated him and took over his personality, his memories and everything. But this is the case with Biden, Smokey Joe, in which for about 2 or 3 years it has full access to the memories, but it's only running on the first 4 energy centers. It's not running on the heart center, though. It's running on the root center, the dantian, the solar plexus center, and the will. So it's able to control the person for 2 to 3 years, and then it starts losing control, and it starts losing access to the memory. And in that point, the person looks exactly like someone getting dementia and Alzheimer's, where they start forgetting where they're at, forgetting how to say, words, how to remember things, even who's there. Like with Smokey Joe, when he's running, he introduced his daughter as his wife, and I'm running for Congress, all kinds of crazy stuff we all remember. And it gets worse and worse and worse until eventually the person dies from it, just like with Alzheimer's dementia situation. Same situation, but they forget how to even the bodily functions, and the Vril loses control. Then the next type is, of course, the type like Dolly the sheep, where they use cellular tissue. And then now the last type is where they can literally get any cellular tissue, erase the DNA, and pass through somebody else. And this is David Wilcock went into this, where Louis T. Montagnier actually did an experiment where he passed laser light through a frog cell into a salamander, I believe it was. And when the egg into the egg of a salamander, and when the egg came out, it was a frog. And so they can actually rewrite the DNA by passing it from one cell to another, and they'll actually make it easier by erasing the nuclear information in the cellular nucleus. And that's why you saw in that Dolly the sheep, they were going into the nucleus, because they were looking at doing this, where they could just pass a frequency through somebody into some stem cells that have had the genetic code erased and make a copy of the person. And the problem they have with clones is that, and this is why they have research in several of the dumps that they used to have in California and out in also in Nevada, in the area, dugway proving ground areas and those. They're researching chromosomes, certain chromosomes like 51, 52, 26, 27, 21, etc., because the clones aren't absolutely identical. Like if a person has non-attached earlobes, they would wind up having attached earlobes, or the eyes might be a little off. Certain, memories might be missing. And so they're trying to get it, absolutely identical, but they have not gotten to that point, like we saw with Jeffrey Epstein, where the person later that they showed that was on the dead person wasn't identical to the pictures of him when he was alive, because that wasn't really him that was killed. It was a clone that was killed. And so it's a close enough thing that the average person not knowing this stuff, not looking for it, will catch it. But it's not close enough for those of us who know.
Right. We understand that cloning and vrills are slightly different because they can take your blood and they can clone you in the cloning centers. And the people that are managing the cloning centers, from the information that I found, were people that have been body snatched by the lizards, if you like, and they have moved their own consciousness into the human body, but killing the human consciousness in that human body. And that's why we see, pedophiles and human trafficking, and people think, well, how can humans do this? Well, it's because their consciousness is not human. It's they're parasites, they're lizards that have moved their consciousness into these beings, and they have no empathy, and they're just very, very good at faking empathy. What are your thoughts on that?
Exactly. It's two reasons. In the Vril situation, like I said, the heart center is skipped. The energy center, the little computer ball of fiber optics, the ultraviolet light, the acupuncture meridians come together in balls that are little like servers in their body. The Hindus and the ancient Indians could observe them, and they spin. So they call them chakras, which is a term in Hindu, I believe, that means spinning wheel. And so these spinning wheels, they can see the light and the energy spinning in them in different colors and frequencies. There's different variations depending on the location. Well, the Vril doesn't activate the heart because it doesn't want empathy. It wants to control the person and not have any of their memories, their cellular memories, the unconscious, interfere, so that it could, it can make the being, that it's now controlling, do anything it wants. Additionally, when a person dies, of course, the soul leaves. So now in the Vril and all the other situations too, a clone doesn't have a soul. From my information, when they do that, a soul doesn't come in there. So that is our moral center. Is our soul is what gives us the feeling of what's right and wrong, and being kind and considerate, and have some empathy and respect for others. Without that, you're a sociopath or a psychopath. More often, a psychopath. And so that's another thing that you can tell, because with psychopaths in Japanese, the term is sympaku eye, where if you look at a person's eye, like I look at your eyes right now, and I can only see the whites of your eyes on the right and the left side of your iris. And so I don't see white on the bottom. I don't see three whites. And sympaku eye, the three whites is a sociopath. Four whites, like you see with Shifty Chef, that's a psychopath. And so if you look at some of the worst killers we've known, and the mass murders and those things, you'll see four whites, where you see white and their eyes don't have to be that wide open. And it literally over time, it looks like their eyes are starting to bug out of their head, because they're getting the no empathy. And the way it is, it actually causes the structure of the eye to change to where you see four whites. You see white all around the eye, the color of the eye, the iris.
Wow, well, very interesting. And why are these lizards, you mentioned 2 to 3 foot lizards, where do they come from, and how did they get here?
From my understanding, they're actually indigenous, and they live beneath the earth in tunnels and little caves and caverns and that. And they discovered them with Project Mark Rand, which is the big project to make all the dumbs and all this. Miners and things, of course, knew about them a long time ago, and were careful, because there has been situations, cave-ins, etc., like mining, where they get trapped and somebody gets knocked out, and a Vril lizard comes over the person, while they're unconscious. And the person dies, and they haul the body out, and then later the person reanimates. And of course, somebody's been dead, and then they reanimate. Back then they usually would burn the person, because they realized that they've been possessed. So now the cabal uses that, so that they have a copy that will have no empathy, no compassion, and be able to serve them in how they want.
let's talk about cloning and how they move, how they clone a person or a celebrity, because it happens a lot in celebrities and they're controlled. Well, that's why we look at them and they look really not there. They torture them if they don't comply. And then they kill them in the clone body, and then they move their consciousness into another clone body, and they repeat the same situation. So it's endless murder, endless torture for that same person, and endless bodies. What are your thoughts about that? If you could explain that to us, please, Gene.
Well, depends on the person. If they're, knowing they're going to become extremely famous, they keep the original in a cage in a dump. Because if you keep copying a copy, you get genetic fading. Just like in an old VCR tape or a cassette tape, and you would make a copy, and then your friend would make a copy from the copy he got from you, and then on and on and on. Pretty soon you don't have a video. 8 copies down, you don't even have audio anymore. Same thing happens with genetic copying. It's called genetic drift, where you get drift and you get fading to where it's no longer viable. And so if they know they're going to need to make many, many, many copies, they will keep the original in a cage, and the original is quantumly entangled to the clone. So it is aware and experiencing everything that the clone is getting and having. And so there's Bernie Mac and a bunch of the African-American gentlemen, where I don't have, able to pull it up right now because I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but they were riding in a limo and talking about this and saying, well, if I'm the clone, I'm going to enjoy my wife and this and that, and I consider all of what I have mine, and but the original is, that may have been originally the originals. And so these stars, when they sign on the line, they sign away their soul, they get cloned also. They don't even know that was part of the deal. But they get taken down to these cloning centers, and they live out their life in a cage while the clones are being them. So, this is always the case with the high-level people within the media, and the high level, with very few exceptions. There are a few minor exceptions of alliance personnel now, and some people a long time ago that got around this, and then politicians as well that are run by the cabal, and then people who get really, really famous. It's wise to have security and people around you if you go out in public. One of the reasons I'm not allowed to go out in public much, in trying to keep who I am, because I was going to go to some of these events where Flynn and all these people are talking, and they told me no way ever. Because to grab somebody, put a syringe, put them out, chloroform them, whatever, and have, you can already get in a previous meeting, get their DNA, have a clone ready to go. They anesthetize the person, take the original away, and literally in seconds, the person goes in the bathroom, somebody else comes out. Literally in seconds, they're switched out. And most people don't realize it. And so you'll notice, because they don't have a soul, the person starts to change their behavior. They start to get less empathic, empathy. They have less empathy, and they get less scruples. They're willing to undermine you, turn on you. They don't agree with you like they used to on major topics. I don't agree with things they were fine with you before, and that's, as that time goes on, it'll get worse and worse and worse, and you'll lose best friends, and you'll lose people, long-term associations, because you found out it's not the same person anymore. And a lot of the clones they don't know they're even clones, but they've been switched out. And so, in these conferences and things like that, I don't go because there have been people within those that have been switched out. And, over long term, we can start noticing the way they talk and what they talk about and the things they say is no longer making sense, because the truth makes sense. It fits together. You hear one person talking about things, it fits in with things. If you do your research, it all fits together. But the lies, even though they're vast in their, they don't fit. It doesn't, like if you look at 911 and you look at the speed that the towers fell, it's not possible, because
it's lucky. It's So let me hit this. Let me get on Starfology website real quick. I think they might have some on it.
Let me get the TV real quick. Bro, come on, bro. Taking my shit, bro. You know the word no exists?
I really need that girl. She funny as food and God food, yo funny as food. See, I tried to spray you a strip piece of bologna here. Hey. It's good, man. I ain't got to move around and get no fucking service with this bitch, though. That's one thing I don't like about that. Obviously, they don't get food.
Transfigure, okay. Go to transfigure again. Okay. Okay, all this dealing with complementary. See, they got mRNA, now they got rDNA. Okay, I know they got a vid on there. Let me see. Sluggy. I wasn't even gonna get on the podcast tonight, but I was just getting notes. But I might just go hop on. I still gotta finish my what you call it.
As soon as I say something, start cooking.
My what you call that. Hold on.
These niggas have dead and shit.
RDNA. Cherry make DNA. It cannot be removed from the body. Okay, what? What are you talking about now? Really? Yes, okay. Okay. RDNA. Alright, let me go back to this real quick. They should have a vid on there. What's that? Let's see. Tag.
What the fuck? Bro. I'm cute, bro. This shit lame as hell, bro.
Okay, biggest thing I'm on right now is, let me see, let me get another one of these tabs. I probably gonna get like 3 more of those tabs. Let me get at least one of. Alright, so boom. Okay, I'm I'm gonna go on and get into. I know I'm gonna have to go on and get into Revelation. I might as well go and get into it. I was just gonna get some notes on it though. To ease up a little bit. So, this we gotta hop into this principality. So, okay, we got that. What's the step before then? What would be the step before then? Oh, yeah, I was gonna get the transfecta. Oh, BioTechnology.
I don't even like a doodle to read a doodle, but like.
Okay. So we got the barcodes. Oh, another thing, the 3D. What was that? Cause this gonna deal with the new currency they trying to push out. The 3D barcode that's RFID tags. I think it's like radio field identification or something like that with the tags. It's more like the prototyping. Let me get that prototyping. You know, when they do the mold and they be doing the mold. Let me see. They should have that shit. Shalaki. Oh, the mold. Let me see. I'm always type that in. We'll take the whole thing. I just type it. Silicon mode, injection mode.
Give this nigga, bro.
Okay, boom. Yep. That's where it's at. Let me see. This ain't the same one though. No, this ain't the same one. Shalaki, hold on. So I wasn't even gonna get into it, but with my work gone, get into this thing, man. Hey man, be aware in this hour. I ain't forget about this one concerning the prototyping, but I know I kept it to where I was like, okay, this would be used for something, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Now I know what it's used for. And this gonna usher in this. They gonna use this because that's gonna be in that data process. They gonna use that for the mark. They gonna use that for that mark, man. But word to word to the locals, most people is already chipped, and it's based on social media. Like now, all you seeing is people. Now is like if you outside or you wherever you go, it's strictly people walking. It's phone, it's phone, it's all phone. Like,
Why you not talking?
let me see. Oh yeah, I think it was. This one, okay, the protocol. Nah. If there was
You just
one.
sitting there on your phone, though. I'm reading the book.
Okay, so,
Hmm. What? You say? Jemaya. What you just say? You don't even remember though. I still can't hear you talking those.
tell you, be aware in this hour, man.
Yes, I can.
Hey, we gonna get into them. Hey, oh yeah, I'm glad I got on here. So look, I'm glad I went ahead and got on. So now we're finna get the databases concerning these satanic bloodlines. Alright. Oh, I want the best. Tell you, man. Okay. Okay, tell matrix.
You see what? No, Kizzy. I want the doctor bring my shit up here.
Okay, data. Oh yeah, database.
Why not?
Can I download? I might have to download that shit. I ain't trying to. Get them numbers. It's like we finna get in some geometry. Alright, concerning some bloodlines. I had found dude, but I was trying to, okay, let me see. Alright, so what was that, geometry? Hold on. Bit 2. What is that, bit 2? Bit 2. What was that shit, bit 2? Geometry. I might be. This ain't it though, man. This ain't the information. No, that ain't it. I gotta find dude. Cause he got into it, bro. I just need to find his name, bro. So I find his name. I probably got it. Oh, better. If this is better. I think it was better. If I'm not mistaken, if this the dude, I think so. quick. Let me start okay.
This shit fucking itch.
Okay,
My hair itch really bad.
so that's going on. Okay. Yep, that's what's going on. Name comment. Let's see. I might just have to. Yeah, let me go to my damn. I gotta go to my settings. Oh, not damn that. Oh shit. Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. I was trying to find dude. Let me see. What was that? Go back. Wow, they just did me like that, man. Hold on. Hold on. Oh man, yeah, they did me like that. Yeah, they did me like that, man. Let me see. Oh no, they didn't do me like that. They ain't do that. I don't think so. Yeah, they did me like that. So look, I got log back in there now. Or I can just do this right here and everything will pop back up. Boom. Yep, everything pop back up. That's where it was. Okay. Makes sense, but it's crazy. So it's like we get into it. Hold on, I gotta add everything back, bro. Basically. Okay, boy. Okay, boy. So. We already know what type of activity that was coming from.
Just like that. I'm with you. That's alright. I really be thinking about this shit a lot.
Okay.
You think like after my kids and shit, I probably really gonna switch up.
So let's get this real quick.
But if I get my uncle to agree with this shit, like when he brought me out there and movies and shit. vehicle, probably at least I could drive myself up in this bitch, but I don't got time for nigga rock on these pulled over.
Get your license.
I gotta wait.
Damn.
I ain't reading a book though. I think I can make this one off.
So that's read.
You don't got your license?
I'm not driving. You think I got shit for your life?
I'm not gonna drive too shit. I'm not driving real good. I just don't like to go. Nobody ain't got a license, bro. Cause like me and police don't get along. So instead of like just getting pulled over and getting a ticket, I probably get pulled over and go to jail.
It's this dude.
Every ancient alphabet, bar none, has always from day one had a mysterious number associated with the letter. The study of that code is called gematria. The atomic mass of the elements are the numbers that equate.
Oh, that's not it. Let me see.
What you want to be for my birthday? Relax, yeah, I don't know. Shit,
Why would you ask me?
hey, maybe you will know.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not good with that type of thing. I'm good with giving things, but I'm not good with figuring things out myself. Like, you tell me something, definitely can do that quick. Me not knowing anything, yeah, damn sure would have a hard time.
Okay.
talking.
You know I don't talk.
Okay, but it's good to hear your voice and let you talk. So go ahead.
Okay. Why is a man holding me? Ain't no way in the world. That's a nice little bed, baby. Yeah, yes, go back, come on. I don't think I know his album. I can't wait to get it. Some cold shoes.
Chapter 7, looking at
Alright, Slucky, so
so you just finished your semen?
right now what I'm getting, yeah, I don't feel you know,
No, I don't have an album.
okay.
I'm disrespectful, man. Yes, you made why you not even here with me here?
Okay, we're gonna get some more Joe.
I can't be.
Get some more Joe.
Well, I'm not supposed to be, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's okay. We'll be out of this one.
In the weekend.
And yeah, but I'm like out for real.
Yeah, me too, but, you know, and that's some months away.
Yeah, no, it. Our birthday will be coming up soon. It's like, hey, you just go about fast. I'm like, when did this one come up?
Okay, 3.
Oh, they got earrings. Oh, shit. I don't know what you see.
They should not out the door.
One thing about Microsoft, they are high. But they got Afterpay. You know they
Afterpay.
after.
Afterpay?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, you don't know what that is? I use it like crazy. It's when you buy something but you pay a certain amount and you just pay that until you done paying it. If it's only 4 installments, like it's not 5, not 10, it's just like,
Yeah, I don't like shit like that. That's one thing I'm pissed about this phone. I hate doing that shit. Like, I hate making payments. I like really paying cash and never have to worry about paying for them.
it's just 4 installments. Like, it's you don't pay a lot. It's just 4 installments. The first installment is to keep the app, and then you got 3 more after you. And when I say I don't care if I have money, I'm you.
crazy. I hate that shit.
All the members can see you around.
Yeah, I got to get all my apps back in this fucking thing.
Look at that. Man, where is that fertilizer soluble?
Yeah. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. I thought that shit ain't working.
Lucky.
I thought you said it didn't need to update.
Um,
I thought you said it didn't need to update.
I see you at the one by your song, but you got to update. This just came out. All of this 17. I got to update my phone.
Lucky. We're gonna come right back and we're gonna hop into finish Ezekiel 23, hop into Lil Joe, Psalms, Revelation, and etc. Well,
So little ass phone.
so look, check it out.
Every time I look at this phone again, I get pissed off.
Alright.
Little ass shit.
Like an album, man. Sound like an album. So look. Where we was at? Okay, we was in geometry. So, but it should not the door. Okay, so we're gonna get gotta get, well, we already got 23. Do we? Yeah, we gotta get 23 Ezekiel. we finna get Ezekiel 23. We're gonna go and hop into that. So, what we stopped off here, where they pluck bush. Her brush was plucked off. I mean, not plucked off, but eventually it will. But right now, it was just plucked. So, wherefore I had delivered her into the land or the hand of her lovers, into the hand of Assyrians, upon whom she doted. These discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters and slew her with the sword. She became famous among boom. So she doted upon Assyrians, her neighbors, captives, right, and rulers, clothed most gloriously, horsemen riding upon horses, all of them desirable young men. Then I saw that she was defiled, that they took both one way, right, and that she increased her whoredoms. For when she saw man portrayed upon the wall, right, upon the wall, and the images of the Chaldeans portrayed with vermilion, with like a red, they said like a vermilion, like a red, right? So girded with girdles upon their loins exceedingly and died, right? Okay, all of them princes to look up after the manner of Babylonians of Chaldeans, the land of their nativity, and as soon as she saw them with her eyes, she doted upon them and sent messengers. Unto them into Chaldea, and the Babylonians came to her into the bed of love, and they defiled her with their whoredoms, and she was polluted with them, and her mind was alienated from them. So she discovered her whoredoms and discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was alienated from her, like as my mind was alienated from her sister, right? Yet she multiplied her whoredoms and called them to remembrance the days of her youth, wherein she had played the harlot in the land of Egypt, right? For she doted upon their paramours, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, whose issue is like the issue of horses, right? Thus, though called to remember the lewdness of the youth, and bruising the tits, right? The tits of by the Egyptians for the paps of the youth, right? Therefore, O Aholibah, thus said the Lord, which is Jerusalem. Thus said the Lord, Yah, behold, I will raise up the lovers against thee, from whom thy mind is alienated, and I will bring them against thee on every side. Right? Wherefore, Aholibah, thus said the Lord, Yah, behold, I will raise up thy lovers against thee, from whom thy mind is alienated, and I will bring them against thee on every side. So look, check it out. Therefore, O Aholibah, thus said the Lord did. Now thus said the Lord Yah, behold, I will raise up deliverers against them whom thy mind alienated, and I will bring them against thee on every side, and the Babylonians and the Chaldeans, Pekod and Soa and Koa, and all the Assyrians with them, all of them desire young men, captains, and rulers, great lords, and renown, and all of them riding upon horses, and they shall come against thee with chariots, wagons, and wheels, and with the assembly of people, which shall set against thee bucklers and shield and helmet round about, right? And I will set judgment before them, and they shall judge thee according to their judgments, right? For I will set my jealousy against thee, and they shall deal furiously, furiously with thee, and they shall take away thy nose and thy ear, right, and thy ears, and thy remnant shall fall by the sword. They shall take thy sons and daughters, and thy residue shall be devoured by the fire. They shall also strip thee out of thy clothes, and take away thy fair jewels. Thus will I make, right? See, I would be so precise, right? Right? I would be so precise, bro. Behold, I would deliver thee into the hand of them, right? Salaki. So and they shall deal with thee hatefully, and shall take away thy labor, and shall leave thee naked and bare, and thy nakedness of thy whoredom shall be discovered, both thy lewdness and thy whoredom. All right, and thy whoredom. Right. Okay, Salaki. Right, Shalaki. I've been letting it roll. Alright, so oh, Salaki. So he said, those shall drink of thy sister's cup, deep and large, and those. Okay, let's go. Gonna go to this is where we're gonna go. We're gonna go and get in commentary, right? We're gonna go and get in commentaries, right? Alright. So, two symbolic sisters. Right, so we're gonna get in the sins and the judgment of Aholah and Aholibah, Samaria and the king of Israel. The kingdom of Israel. Two symbolic sisters. We just said who that was. Okay, there were two. Okay, hold on. Okay. See. Okay, so we're gonna start at she has never given up her holiday. Right. Shalom. We're gonna start back where it says she has never given up her harlot she brought from Egypt. Right? Shalaki. So alright, so we've been with it, man. Shalaki. Alright, hold on. So we're gonna hop into this real quick. Like so. Alright, so black holes are almost optimal quantum cloners. If black holes were able to clone quantum states, a number of paradoxes in a black hole. We just get into this real quick. Lucky. So, what we getting? He said she has never given up her harlotry. Right. Brought from Egypt, the idea from Ezekiel 23 is repeated specifically for Aholah, which is the kingdom of Israel, right? 12 tribes. So she started out by giving herself to Egyptian idols, and continued giving herself to the idols of the nations, right? So this when judgment was cast upon her, right? Okay. Then after we get this, we gonna get the judgment. We definitely got to get the judgment of the nations, which we keep getting that, but we gonna get that because it's close. I was gonna keep bringing it around because I told you it's a pre of everything. It's like it's a pre-tribulation. It's a when he doing this battle axe concerning some history. So they come back again, it already happened, but if it come back again, it's only fulfilling itself a little bit more. Or either if it's time to fulfill, we're gonna fulfill it. So, so therefore I have delivered her into the hand of her lovers and into the hand of her serious, for whom she lusted. They uncovered her nakedness and took away her sons and daughters and slew her with the sword. She became a byword among women, for they had executed judgment on her. Right? And this is what we're looking at. You gotta understand a lot of the that's what I wanted to get into. The women, because we talking about harlotry, right? We talking about this harlotry and whatnot. Man, a lot of this shit that's going on, it's really more so sexual immorality. Because we talking about Judah. Many people be like, oh, who is she? But all he doing is talking about the two twins. He pictured them as two twin females, right? Aholibah. But in all actuality, it's just the 12 tribes and Judah. Well, not just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's Israel, the kingdom of Israel, the northern kingdom, then you got south kingdom of Judah. Southern kingdom. Okay, boom. So, where we at? It said, therefore I have delivered her into the hand of her lovers, because Israel gave herself to foreign gods and morals. Yah allowed them. Yah allowed them to be conquered by those foreign nations. It was Yah's ways of saying, you reject me and lust after these, and now you must be conquered by them and live under them. So look, therefore, the scriptures may be discerned that divine retribution operates in such a way that the source of sinful pleasure becomes the source of punishment. Samaria's lovers become her destroyers. Right, that's what we're seeing now. Everybody, people finding out the harlotries. That's what's going on. People find out these harlotries, and then they, find out the harlotries, and then now you're gonna be disgusted. Now you alienated from them. You ain't gonna want, alienated because now they finna do you disgusting. They, you know, at first it was all we in the bed. Now it's bed. At first it was bed. Now it's oh you just treated like a hoe now, but they was just in the bed, or you both vice versa. Y'all was in the bed with each other, right? So now that judgment hit, I was stirred it up in their heart like, oh yeah, bro, they gonna just yo, what it say? They uncovered her nakedness, took away her daughters, her sons and daughters, and slew her with the sword. When the Assyrians conquered Israel in 722 BC, they did this. Assyria humiliated Israel and Judah, right? Took her sons and daughters captive, killed many with the sword. This was well known to the Ezekiel listeners and readers, right? It was well known, right? Happening more than 100 years before Judah and Israel, right, had become a byword for well-deserved, what we call it, judgment, right? So the sins of the sins and judgment of Aholibah, right, Jerusalem and the kingdom of Judah, right? Ezekiel 23 and 11, 13, Aholibah, Jerusalem imitates the sins of her sister. So-called, I'm just speaking in context of how it was formatted. Imitates the sin of Aholah, Samaria, right? Which is, if I'm not mistaken, that's the northern kingdom, that's Israel. Right? Now, although her sister Aholibah saw this, she became more corrupt in her lust. Then she and her harlotry more corrupt than her sister harlotry. So she got judged because when she entered into that, she went worse than her sister did. She took her sister cup and drunk it. Like she had her own cup, and then she took her. Abba gave her a cup from her sister, and she drank it. So the harlotry was totally different. And as you look around, brothers using sisters, if we ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing, brothers using sisters, bro, to harlotry, because now you got this digital currency. I mean, yeah, you got that, and then you got Bitcoin, then you got all this human transference. So right now, Israel gonna begin turning into prostitutes because dealing with the Assyrians, he already said they're gonna be disgusted. Once they know your nakedness, once they discover your nakedness, once you naked, they gonna deal with you in an ill manner. Once they be like, oh, she a harlot, she a hoe, or they a hoe, you know what I'm saying? In all actuality, not she, but based on the twin sisters, they gonna be like, she a hoe. That's why you hearing she and all these bywords of a woman, because that's what they was looked at as. They was being turned. You had men, women, children getting sold, all that, no strength in their hand to get to deliver they kids back in their hand, all that, bro. It said, now although her sister Aholibah saw this, she became more corrupt. Okay, now she lusted for the neighbor Assyrians, captains, and rulers, clothed most gloriously, right? Horsemen riding on horses, all of them desired a young man. Then I saw that I was defiled. Both took the same way. I saw that she was defiled. Both took the same way. All the difference is one was a little worse. One did worse than the other. So they took the same way, but one did worse than the other. Feel me? So I'm also getting to this nanotech where now it's no touch. Now they trying to do what they call it, detective novel, swabbing, nose swabbing. Now they'll put everybody under what you call it, a medical. They'll put everybody under a medical algorithm, make it seem like everybody's sick to get one person or to get to a certain group of people. So you gotta peep. They been trying to. Ain't nobody gonna get that job, bro. Everybody not gonna get that job. So it's like, bro, now they just gonna implement where it's no touch, just like how they doing with the newer weapons. Now there's no touch. They can put a satellite through contraptions. They can put a satellite, or they can message a satellite from outer space, and nigga directly towards you. So nigga, what you think they can do if you don't want to take the job, nigga? We carry phones all day. That's a carrier right there. We carry phones. We got laptops. Kids got tablets. All that. So we carrying that all day. Nigga, all they gonna try. And then what you think they gonna do? They gonna body snatch the environments. They gonna have our own people doing it. It's gonna be them, but they gonna have our own people doing it. They gonna have our own people. Oh, nigga, we gonna get under these. We gonna get under this medical algorithm, and we gonna single out who we gonna single out. Right? They gonna single out who they gonna single out. Alright. See what they try to they gonna constantly attack the organs, attack the body, attack everything, and then soon when they got you, cause this beat they creating syndrome, bro. That's all they doing. That's why a lot of people they might be like, oh man, I'm sick this day. I feel like this day. Because all they doing is bringing. I know this ain't really off subject, cause this is really like what's happening in this hour. What's going on in this hour? A lot of sickness is being staged like it been has, but now I'm just saying it's no touch. A lot of people now they got the locals cloning people. So then once they clone you, now you got all the niggas who killing people, and who doing all these syndromes, killing people through sicknesses, all that. Now they flipping the role and like these people out here doing this, and the whole time they just flip the role and they just clone some damn body, replace that person. Now everybody walking the same and doing the same thing. Tell you. So we gonna get into that too, but we gotta watch for CERN, gotta watch for Apollyon. Cause they gon' the fact that they using these black holes to do what I just stated. They using the black holes to do it. So if they using that to do it, bro, nigga, in a minute they gonna be trying to use CERN, bro. They gonna try to use CERN, bro. They gonna try to use Apollyon. Then they gonna go with the 5G shit. They gonna go and open up the 5G, all that. Tell you, they gonna open up the 5G shit, man. Tell you. And then it's so much infiltrations. It's so much infiltration going on where they trying to put everywhere you look. It's a pressure. They can't get to you closely, cause they not showing themselves around in our environment. They gonna work through our people. They gonna use the same technology they use against us. Cause some people they ain't gonna know what it is. They don't, they'll sit down. They ain't gonna sit down all day and be like, okay, boom, this is woo, woo, woo. Oh, they gonna use it as a weapon. See, that's the difference. You got people who know what it is, sit down and go, find out what it is. But then you got some people, it'll come among them and they'll be like, damn. And then they'll sit. They be off, most of the time they be off to themselves. And then they find out, oh, I can use this for a weapon. And then they start using it for a weapon. Then they start getting good at using it for a weapon. So after a while, they still not noticing these people that put it among them to damage them. But now, they goes to say that's like the millionizer. If I can use you to use my weapon, nigga, I ain't really gonna too much worry about you, cause you gonna lead to your own demise. Because this not for, battling and warfare. Most people use it for a tyranny. Most people using it in tyranny. Most people use this, and you gotta understand, bro. A lot of people gonna be trying to do that. Gonna be trying to get rid of people because the earth is ready to purge people. And the ones know that the world. A lot of people know who trying to get purged off. Like not trying to get purged off, but who finna get purged off because of what they going through. So then what they gonna do is target somebody else, move the intention of move everything off them because they been wicked. They been doing shit to people and don't nobody know about it. They been doing it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's gonna be showing more. That's all I'm doing. They just showing more. That's it. So now you're gonna see more of an upheaval. You're gonna see more uprisings concerning the matter. Aholah, bro. That's why you see the clone and you see people doppelganging and shapeshifting into people, and you see people acting like somebody else or turning into somebody else. Or you see that's why you see that, because that's what's happening. Just look at the course of how the world going. And look at what humanity trying to be on, because they done already took it far-fetched with these reptilians and most of these people that made pacts with these same demonic entities, or these, however you want to put it. I'm talking about people you see every day that already made pacts, cause bro, they putting themselves among people, bro. Damn, that shit ain't high no more, bro. They getting put among people. They putting themselves among people, and they start wars. They trying to see how far-fetched can they wars that they start and go off. Like, how long can it be? Then, before you know it, because humanity, they gonna try to be on some different shit. So they gonna try to make it galactical. It gotta come to pass. Galactically, it gotta come to pass. Because, nigga, but the earth already gonna, it's gonna already turn up as it is. I was gonna stir it up. I was gonna already turn it up. Right? And that's what we're gonna get into. We're gonna get into some judgment too. What he gonna do for the earth? How the earth gonna be? How the earth gonna become desolate? How the earth gonna become empty? Concerning space-wise, spiritual space-wise, because all this warfare and all this battle and all this, eventually it's gonna get to that, because it's gonna be so much prison, so much bloodshed. Because you seeing it now in the spirit. You just seeing it now. Everybody just, you know what I'm saying? That's what's happening now. So, in a couple, because people be thinking, 10 years, 15 years, what you gonna be in the future? Like, bro, all that half of stuff you think you gonna be in the future, nigga, you can be that in 2 years. That's what I be saying. Or you can be that in the next year. Most people be, about 10 years, I'll be, bro, you understand, 10 years, half of shit you think you finna be doing, nigga, that, bro, they trying to get rid of you. How you think you finna do that in 10 years, 15, 20 years, 30 years? That's only our willing. And 9 times out of 10, that ain't happening. That ain't finna even happen, bro. So look, although her sister, Aholibah, saw this, there was at least one significant way that the sins of Jerusalem were much worse than the sins of Samaria. Right, than the sins of Samaria. Jerusalem had the example of who is that, right? So one of them was already under judgment, right? And then they got the example for one who already had got judged. Right? You got the northern kingdom, then you got the southern kingdom. They said the southern kingdom had the example of the northern kingdom and take warning from and learn by. They didn't. So they saw her sin. They saw their brother in sin, and then the judgment that came up on her, and they followed the same ways. The focus is upon Jerusalem idolatry with the gods of the Assyrians. Right? And that's the biggest thing. You got idolatry, fornication, whoredom, all that, bro. The big thing, we keep having the spirits, man, bro. Let's get out this idolatry. Let's get out this idolatry. Next thing you know, they trying to push it on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's cool. You like who you like. Whatever you use as an idol turn to an idol. But nigga, stop trying to push it on somebody else when they trying to flee from their idolatry. That's what's going on. A lot of people be, and then they be like, oh, you hating. We hating based on you trying to push your idolatry on us. So you gotta know what's happening, what's really going on. What I was finna do. A lot of people don't got a clue. That's how they wanna, and they wanna put you in that area, in that space to where, oh nigga, I don't got a clue. So now I'm just doing anything and everything. Nah, bro. If you gotta understand, once you bear much, he give you much to bear, bro, it's much required. So nigga, once you trying to dive into stuff that ain't, nigga, he ain't permitted you to do, bro, he gonna deal with you. Most people think, bro, you can just do this and you ain't nothing gonna happen to you. Cause most people, they know God, they know Abba real, bro. They know that, they know y'all real. It's a lot of people that just don't give a damn, and most of them, bro, they bred it in with these damn satanic families, bro. Once you know so, you knew so much, cause Abba gonna come amongst you. He gonna continue to come amongst you now and he, bro. In the days we in now, Abba gonna continue to come amongst you to see if you gonna turn from your wicked ways. Most people I know for a fact Abba came amongst them just based on how they move. They know Abba real. And they'll say he real, but who they say is real, that's not even the same force as him. So they really don't know he real until they really just come to the acknowledgement of y'all for real. All right. Tell you, they don't need people don't know. Man, I'm telling you, these people that don't even really want to consider Abba real, bro. That's why a lot of people in this hour, how people being purged, a lot of relationships and everything gonna just be going to pieces because most people is gonna be people waking up and they gonna be trying to wake their people up. They ain't gonna be trying to hear shit. They gonna continue to do what they want to do, and you gonna see the worships they gonna be into. Nigga, they gonna be in their own worship. You gonna see people you thought that been in the truth forever. They been knowing what's been going on forever. Since nigga, you a kid, you ain't know what's going on. Nigga, you getting counsel from them forever, bro. They gonna be they faith gone, bro. The faith that they in, nigga, they man, you gonna see. It was their own enterprise. At the whole time, it was just an enterprise. It was probably Messianic, all type of things, bro. Tell you. You gonna see it. It's gonna come a time where, nigga, if you don't believe it, eventually, I'm gonna make you see it to where you be like, bro, these the times. You gonna continue to move like you blind when you seeing what I'm putting in front of you. Come on, man. Then he gonna make it get louder. He gonna make stuff be so much precise to where it's gonna get louder, louder, louder. See, what they trying to do is silence everything now. They trying to censor everything now, bro. Because they know. Nigga, all I ain't doing, I'm getting louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. Tell you. Ain't trying to make it, oh, you worship something else. But that's not the case, bro. It's just sources with this. We can scream a God all day, but if it ain't the source, it ain't the source. And that's where the misunderstanding come in from. That's where they come in from, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now you got these collective bodies of virologies, or viruses. They'll create a collective body, antibody. I think that's how you say it. They'll create that, and then niggas will be sick out of nowhere. be sick out of nowhere. That's cause people, nigga, they ushering in with what they trying to do out here. It ain't about no virus or none of that, bro. We been seeing it. And people been seeing it. Once they put them folks in the house and put these people in the house for that little period of time, niggas start seeing what's happening, what's going on. They woke up a little bit, but then once they got a little free, they went back doing the same shit. So that same space that you was in the house, or if you weren't in the house, you still had to stay away from certain people because a lot of people were scared of it. Bro, you still had some time to yourself to be like, damn, bro, look at the course of the world. Look at your surroundings. A lot of people, they gonna try to, man, I ain't gonna, you know, I'm not gonna pay attention to that. I'm gonna just continue to party. I'm gonna continue to do this. Well, nigga, these are the times you should be paying attention. You should be. Now it's all about partying. These people they don't do parties. They don't do this. They don't do this. They don't do that. Come on, man, bro. Why you still on parties, bro? Why you still so worried about a damn party? Why you still so worried about all that? But anyway, I digress. So look, it said the focus is upon Jerusalem idolatry with the gods of Assyria and Babylon and Egypt. This is the nemesis, right? It's Israel and Judah nemesis, right? After all this is done, after they be judged and punished for this punishment, I mean for these crimes against the Abba, what if we go to the nemesis of what they're gonna be doing, they're gonna be looking for ones when all the famines hit, when everything gets so real scarce, they're gonna go to these same people. They're gonna go to the same people and be trying to get strength. They're gonna try to get some strength. They're gonna try to get all type of things, bro. All type of assistance when they got the Abba. And they gonna know Abba. That's the thing. When you know him, nigga, you know you can go to him. See, a lot of our people gonna know him and they gonna go to these people. A lot of people know him and they still go to people that they can physically see. So look, but the idolatry was often connected with real or hoped for political alliances. They lusted after gods and these great empires and their protection, right? She became more corrupt in her lust than she, and in the end, Jerusalem was more depraved than Israel, the northern kingdom. Ezekiel would develop that theme starting in verse 16. She lusted for the neighbor Assyria, even as the northern kingdom of Israel lusted after Assyrian power, wealth, and fame and influence. So did the southern kingdom of Judah. Jerusalem lusted for the material and fleshly emblems that the mighty empire in the same way as Samaria, right? As Samaria, they were both defiled, both took the same way, right? King Ahaz of Judah gave gifts and made alliance with the Assyrians. The prophet Elijah spoke against the lust. They spoke against the lust, right? Spoke against this lust for the neighboring Assyrians. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, bro, right now, bro, all you see, man, bro, you seeing they already trying to do that bio-robotic shit already, bro. And it's an algorithm. It's a certain algorithm. That's why I say we got to get into the geometry. It's a certain algorithm where they hooded up. I'm saying most of them hooded up, bro. You talk to them, they be seem like they old, but they bro, nah, bro. Tell you. Tell you. Right? So look, the prophet Isaiah spoke against this lust for the neighboring Assyrians. Okay, he went up to Damascus to meet Talat, Pileser, king of Assyria, and he saw there an altar he thought was the prettiest altar he ever seen. So he sent Uriah, right, the priest, to get the pattern of it, right, get the pattern of it in order to make one just like, you know what I'm saying, one just like it. Second Kings 16:10. Ezekiel 23:14-16, Aholibah, Jerusalem, right? Surpasses the sins of Aholah, Lord of the kingdom. So she became, but she increased her harlotry. She laid her at man. She looked at man portrayed on the wall, images of Chaldeans, portrayed in red. It said vermilion, but red. It's red officially. Not officially, but essentially. Girded with belts around their waist, right? Flowing turbans on their head, right? Right, all of them looking like captains in the manner of Babylonia of Chaldea, the land of their nativity. As soon as her eyes saw this, she lusted for them, right? And sent messengers to them in Chaldea, right? Right, so she increased her harlotry. It had bad enough that Jerusalem imitated the sins of Samaria. It was far worse than she increased her rejection, and rebelled. She looked at man, like you said. Okay, the land of their nativity. Let me see. This probably refers to the fact that according to Genesis, the book of Genesis, Abraham, the father of all the people of Israel, originally came from Judea in the region of Babylon. Yah called Abraham out of Babylon idolatry. Remember that? Remember that? So the Babylonian idolatry. Remember, he was in Egypt. Now his descendants returned to him. Right. Right.
Yeah, why is we outside already?
Right.
We outside already.
So,
man, I ain't go to sleep till fucking 3:30.
So sent messengers of them in Chaldea looked long before the Babylonians conquered Judah. They sent receptive messengers to her. They pursued the Babylonians, and eventually the same Babylonians, right, conquered the people of Judah. There is no direct reference elsewhere to overturns to Babylon, but foreign alliances produce foreign standards to life and religions. As soon as her eyes saw it, they began to the mischief. Here began the mischief. Many have died of the wound and the eye. Right? So we're gonna start right there, because I'm finna get into some recording, and then we're gonna,
I want you to. Be two animal security guards though, for them to take my shit.
Like it, so.
I ain't time for this down week.
Y'all don't have to take it again.
Put it in my backpack. Hey, they said to bring that TV here. Bro, you might come off that bitch. What are you talking about? Nah, let me go get this area and shit cleaned up. Alright, I'm trying to straighten my shit over. We dead.
So she multiplied her harlotries, Jerusalem by distancing himself from her. Her response was to return to her roots. Look, you see, that's that dog return to her vomit. You know what I would say? He said her response was to return to her roots, to the idolatry of her youth. She had played the harlotry in the land of Egypt. She lusted for her forerunner. Jerusalem ran after her idol lovers, right? In the most gross and disgusting ways, right? Ezekiel said she lusted after their potency, right? Represented by laws. Okay, we got that. So boom.
We don't go for that shit.
Right. So boom. Ezekiel language here is immediately coarse and apparently more so in the original Hebrew. Yet the modern preacher should note that he did not use the coarse terms to entertain his listeners and readers, nor to make himself seem contemporary and cool, right? Contemporary and cool, right? Language was used to shock and to reflect your own disgust with Jerusalem's sins. For most, right, this coarse language stands out for its rarity, and the use should never be used to justify any kind of regular use in the public or even everyday conversation. Oh nah, buddy.
Somebody shit, they shit don't even work.
Egyptian hieroglyphs. The horse represented a lustful person. Asses or horses are proverbially lustful. Jeremiah 2:24, 5:8, 13 and 27. Thus was described the return to her first. What was it called? The first. Right.
Yeah, I will. You gotta clean your areas too, man.
Mine clean, bro. I just gotta wash it. So to her first degradation. Okay, the original is still more rough than the translation. Sure, there is no need of a comment to explain imagery. Imagery that is but too generally understood. Okay. So therefore, Aholibah, thus said the Lord Yah's judgment against Jerusalem was all the more deserved because they were Aholibah, meaning my tabernacle was in her, the great blessing of the temple, right? And the priesthood and the mix made their accountability much greater. I will stir up your lovers against you. Jerusalem and Judah will find that they gave themselves to would not treat them well. They would come against Aholibah from every side, with officers, leaders from many nations. They would come with a powerful weapon, buckler, shield, helmet, instruments of war, right? Chariots, wagons, war horses. Alright. So those who previously come to her to make love now come from all the sides to make war. Pekah is a tribe east of the Tigars, or the Tigris. Jeremiah 50 and 21. Sakar and Kor have been identified with other tribes in the same area. The attention seems merely to accumulate familiar inimical names to designate the host. Ezekiel 23:46 that will be summed up, right?
The mother is Jerusalem or Israel. Verse 3, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth. There were their breasts pressed, and there they bruised the teats of their virginity. We see instantly that these are not real women. We know this because it says they committed whoredoms in Egypt. This is talking about when Israel was in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth. We were in our youth as a nation of people when we were in Egypt. There were their breasts pressed, and there they bruised the teats of their virginity. As a young virgin might squeeze her breast and rub her nipples, teats mean nipple. Their mind is on sex or doing something they shouldn't be doing. Verse 4, and the names of them were Aholah, the elder, and Aholibah, her sister, and they were mine, and they bear sons and daughters.
Hey, these
Thus
niggas finna
were
go
their
home.
names. Samaria is Aholah, and Jerusalem Aholibah. You see here, the Most High further shows you that these are not real women, but they represent his people. He says their names are Aholah, which is symbolic of Samaria, which is northern kingdom Israel, and Aholibah, which is symbolic of Judah, which is southern kingdom Judah. These names sound like a whore. This is by design. The elder was Aholah, which is northern kingdom, because they went into whoredom first and went into captivity first. The youngest was called Aholibah, which is southern kingdom Judah, that went a whoring later and went into captivity later. Remember, the Most High said they were his. So, you know this is about the nation of Israel and not two real women. The message in this chapter is strongly for the women of our nation and for us men too to learn from. Verse 5, and Aholah played the harlot when she was mine, and she doted on her lovers, on the Assyrians her neighbors, which were clothed with blue, captains and rulers, all of them desirable young men, horsemen riding upon horses. And Aholah played the harlot when she was mine. Northern kingdom, which belongs to the Most High, went lusting and whoring after Assyria. This is not just sex, but also wanting all the wicked ways of that wicked nation. It says she doted on her lovers, meaning northern kingdom was extremely fond. Doted means extremely fond of the Assyrians and didn't care about their ways or what they were doing, and all these things were an abomination to our ways. Verse 7, thus she committed her whoredoms with them, with all them that were the chosen men of Assyria, and with all on whom she doted. With all their idols she defiled herself. Basically, we got with them because they were decked out in their clothes and had position, money, and power. Does this sound familiar today?
Oh,
you know how we roll. We see something that look good, we want to go after it, not thinking about the consequences of our actions. Verse 8, neither left she her whoredoms brought from Egypt, for in her youth they lay with her, and they bruised the breast of her virginity, and poured their whoredom upon her. Even when we were in the land of Egypt, we were whoring. The Most High had to bring us out because we were sinking to a very low estate, and Egypt was doing all they could to morally corrupt us as a people. They knew about Yahweh and that we were his people because of Joseph. They wanted to keep us down on the bottom. They wanted to restrict our numbers so that they would lose their fear of us rising up against them. But the Most High knew he had to bring us out, and that's what he did. And when we came out, we brought the filth of our ways and the filth of the Egyptian ways with us. I mean, it makes me laugh sometimes when I think about it. because we as a people today just can't
No,
see
Professor
and
Byron.
Remember,
what
you
the
guys
nations
don't
are
get
doing
my
to us.
trash.
Hey, bro, who you know got a
We won't break that yoke that they have on us. Verse 9. Wherefore I have delivered her into the hand of her lovers, into the hand of the Assyrians, upon whom she doted. Because we wanted the filth of the the Assyrian, the Most High delivered our people into the hand of our lovers, into the hand of the Assyrians, because we were cocoa puffs. That's right. They were like a sweet bowl of cereal to us. That's how many of you feel about America today, and are too blind to see the wicked side of this country. Verse 10. These discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters and slew her with the sword, and she became famous among women, for they had executed judgment upon her.
Like in her room?
Once Assyria saw that northern kingdom was fully corrupt, they turned their hatred toward them because they knew the Most High would not fight for us. As a matter of fact, the Most High sent them to punish us for our transgressions and whoredoms against him. Nothing happens unless the Most High allows it to happen. And he actually brought
One
it.
night or 2 nights?
Verse 11.
One night.
When her sister Aholibah saw this, speaking of southern kingdom Judah, she was more corrupt in her inordinate love than she. We did it better than northern kingdom. And in her whoredoms more than her sister in her whoredoms. She doted upon the Assyrians, her neighbors, captains and rulers clothed most gorgeously, horsemen riding upon horses, all of them desirable young men. And when her sister Aholibah saw this, talking about southern kingdom Judah, Judah was more corrupt in her inordinate love than northern kingdom, and in her whoredoms more than her sister in her whoredoms. You know how we Negroes or Jakes do. We're going to try and outdo others in everything we do, except in righteousness. Verse 13. Then I saw that she was defiled, that they took both one way, and that she increased her whoredoms. For when she saw men portrayed upon the wall, the images of the Chaldeans portrayed with vermilion, their clothes were a particular color of red. Vermilion is a particular color of red. Verse 15. Girded with girdles upon their loins, exceeding in dyed attire upon their heads. So they had head dresses with different colors wrapped all around. I guess looking pretty good to them. All of them princesses to look to, after the manner of the Babylonians of Chaldea, the land of their nativity. Verse 16. And as soon as she saw them with her eyes, she doted upon them, and sent messengers unto them in Chaldea. It don't take much to get us going in the wrong direction. We are quick to lust after something or someone we see. Verse 17. And the Babylonians came to her in the bed of love, and they defiled her with their whoredom, and she was polluted with them, and her mind was alienated from them. We desire the worthlessness of the Babylonians over the true wealth and love of the Most High. Unbelievable. We are a people lacking good judgment. Verse 18. So she discovered her whoredoms and discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was alienated from her, like as my mind was alienated from her sister. This is the Most High telling you that he alienated his mind from southern kingdom Judah, just like he did her sister northern kingdom Israel. Once the southern kingdom Judah went so deep in their sins against the Most High, he turned his back on them, like he did with her sister northern kingdom. Verse 19. Yet she multiplied her whoredoms in calling to remembrance the days of her youth, wherein she had played the harlot in the land of Egypt. For she doted upon their paramours, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, and whose issue is like the issue of horses. Yeah, I know some of y'all need some explaining for this. For she doted upon the paramours. Paramours mean lover. whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, meaning they were well hung like an ass. They had large wankers. Whose issue is like the issue of horses, meaning their ejaculation was much. From Israel's youth, the women went after other men, and it is the same sinful issues we have today. Verse 21. Thus thou callest to remembrance the lewdness of thy youth, in bruising the teeth, or nipples, by the Egyptians for the paps, which also means nipples, of thy youth. During our time in Egypt, the women were very lewd, rubbing the nipples in front of the Egyptians to entice them. Hot young mamas, you know, you've seen it today. You see it all the time today. Verse 22. There, O Aholibah, thus saith the Lord Almighty, behold, I will raise up thy lovers against thee, from whom thy mind is alienated, and I will bring them against thee on every side. Now, the Most High is telling Aholibah, southern kingdom Judah, that he will cause the Babylonians to come against them from all directions. And they did. Israel got surrounded. Israel was in a siege. Israel was starved. Verse 23. The Babylonians and all the Chaldeans, Pekah, and Shoah, and Koah, and all the Assyrians with them, all of them desirable young men, captains and rulers, great lords, and renowned, all of them riding upon horses. And they shall come against thee with chariots, wagons, and wheels, and with an assembly of people, which shall set against thee buckler and shield and helmet round about. And I will set judgment before them, and they shall judge thee according to their judgments. And I will set my jealousy against thee, and they shall deal furiously with thee. They shall take away thy nose and thy ears, and thy remnant shall fall by the sword. They shall take thy sons and thy daughters, and thy residue shall be devoured by fire. So, this is when the Babylonians came and surrounded Israel and destroyed us in a way never before seen. Judah's first big captivity. Verse 26. They shall also strip thee out of thy clothes, and take away thy fair jewels. Now, many of you have seen videos and TV shows, movies, whatever, about the Israelites. Those white folks over there that are pretending to be us. And whenever you see them, you ever notice how they're always in rags? They look like pitiful people. Well, we were never dressed like that. We had the finest clothes in the world. The Most High had us decked out better than any nation in the world. As a matter of fact, other nations emulated us. When you look at the ancient Chinese and Japanese and their fine robes and clothes, they got that from us. That's right, brothers and sisters. We were the best dressed. We didn't look like them ragamugs over there you see today on these TV shows. The Babylonians would strip us of our clothes and take away all of our jewels. The same thing happened in Africa when they took us to America on ships in slavery. The slave conditions on ships were very bad. It would have been much worse with clothing on. So they took our clothes off, packed us in those ships like sardines, and we pissed and crapped on each other for months during that journey. So when we stepped off the boat in this new land called America and people saw us, they called us savages. We didn't speak the language. We didn't have clothes. I'm sure our hair was a mess. So they thought we were savages. So you see, people misconstrued who we were. And that was also by design. Some knew that we were Israelites, but most did not know. Verse 27. Thus will I make thy lewdness to cease from thee, and thy whoredom brought from the land of Egypt, so that thou shalt not lift up thy eyes unto them, nor remember Egypt any more. The Most High intended on breaking us, and he did. For 70 years we would be in captivity, and we were. Verse 28. For thus saith the Lord Almighty, behold, I will deliver thee into the hand of them whom thou hatest, into the hand of them from whom thy mind is alienated. And they shall deal with thee hatefully, and shall take away all thy labor, and shall leave thee naked and bare. And the nakedness of thy whoredoms shall be discovered, both thy lewdness and thy whoredoms. All of our labors, things we built and grew, they took away from us for themselves. It is hard to see why we can't serve the Most High. Hard to see why we can't serve him. It's easy to serve him and enjoy the good things of life that he has for us. But rather serve him, we want to serve our enemies and enjoy the bad things of life. The food sucked today. And we want to stay here in this world, in this country, and eat this garbage and put up with this mess. Unbelievable. The Most High dealt with us with love. Our enemies dealt with us with hatred, envy, and anger. And we getting a bowl full of it today. It's like we lust after the other nations, then they are good to us, everything's good. And then we end up on the bottom, kicked to the curb. All right, verse 30. I will do these things unto thee, because thou hast gone a-whoring after the heathen, because thou art polluted with their idols. The Most High said he would do these things to us because we went whoring after the heathen, and because we polluted ourselves with their idols. And we still do. We go after everything under the sun, and we lift those things up and make them more important than the Most High. Those are idols. No matter what it is, if you put something before the Most High, before his word, they become idols. You're false gods. Verse 31. Thou hast walked in the way of thy sister, therefore will I give her cup into thy hand. After seeing the wickedness of northern kingdom, Judah sat back and watched northern kingdom go through all the stuff they went through and go into captivity. After being starved, killed, beaten, whatever, they saw it all. And then we did the same thing. Judah did the same thing, not learning anything, and the Most High gave us the same cup that northern kingdom drank of. Verse 32. Thus saith the Lord Almighty, thou shalt drink of thy sister's cup, deep and large. Thou shalt be laughed to scorn and had in derision. It containeth much. Thou shalt be filled with drunkenness and sorrow, with the cup of astonishment and desolation, with the cup of thy sister Samaria. Thou shalt even drink it and suck it out, and thou shalt break the sherds thereof, and pluck off thine own breast, for I have spoken it, saith the Lord Almighty. The other nations do everything in their power to bring us down. They are friends with us until we fall. When we fall, they then laugh because they know we had the real true God. Then we become astonished at our low position among the nations. Then all of a sudden, we want to cry out to God. Oh, help us. Why is it we wait until we're in a bad situation to want to cry out to God? We should be crying out to God when we're feeling good, doing well, and everything is rolling smooth in our lives. We should be crying out to God then, because we need to realize that what we have in this present world is strictly garbage. We should be crying out to him to take us home, to end this world and get the next world started. That's where the real party at, y'all. Verse 35. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Almighty, because thou hast forgotten me and cast me behind thy back, therefore bear thou also thy lewdness and thy whoredoms. The Most High said, because we have forgotten him and cast him behind our back, he tells us to bear our lewdness and our whoredoms. That is what we also are seeing today. You can see the lewdness and whoredoms of our people everywhere you go. Go to the grocery store, it's in there. Go to the bank, it's in there. Go shopping, you see it in there. The ridiculous, whorish clothes that our women wear. And the mothers let their young daughters wear it too. It's unbelievable. And the men walking around with their pants hanging all off their butt like a jailhouse whore. Verse 36. Yahweh said, moreover unto me, Son of man, wilt thou judge Aholah and Aholibah? Yeah, declare unto them their abominations. Now, you know, people say, you can't judge me. But the Bible tells us to judge people according to the righteousness of the Bible. The Most High told Ezekiel to declare to Israel their abominations. Ezekiel was judging his people according to the righteousness of the Most High's word. So yeah, we can judge people. But we also need to remember too that we who claim to be righteous were just like them. We were doing some of the same wicked stuff they do. And we need to understand that they can change. So we need to keep that in mind when we're also judging other people. And remember not to be a hypocrite, because even though we claim to be righteous and we are more perfect than others, we too still sin. Verse 37, that they have committed adultery and blood is in their hands, and with their idols have they committed adultery. So you see, with the idols, we committed adultery. With the things we put before the Most High, before His word, we commit adultery. It's like cheating on a spouse. And have also caused their sons, whom they bear unto me, to pass from them through the fire, to devour them. Now, some of y'all may not know this, but we were sacrificing kids to false gods. They take their babies and put them in the fire. Now, we were committing many sins that blood sacrifice could not cover. Worshiping idols of wood and stone, committing adultery against the Most High, and sacrificing our children in the fire to false gods. The sin of fornication and adultery today is causing women to sacrifice their children in abortion clinics. It's the same thing. There is nothing new under the sun, just different ways of doing it under the sun. Verse 38, moreover, this they have done unto me. They have defiled my sanctuary in the same day, and have profaned my Sabbaths. The depths of our sins against the Most High, we cannot measure today. We also profaned His Sabbaths by not keeping them in doing what we should do on the Sabbaths. We defiled His sanctuary, which is our body today, and give no second thought to it. Can you believe these folks? They would go pass their kids into the fire, burn them up, kill them, and then go in God's sanctuary into His temple like nothing happened. You can't make this stuff up. Verse 39, for when they had slain their children to their idols, then they came the same day into my sanctuary to profane it. And lo, thus have they done in the midst of my house. The gall that our people had to sacrifice their children to idols, and then on the same day go into the Most High sanctuary as if nothing happened. Hey, that was a nice little sacrifice we had last night, sacrificing to the devil. Yeah, everything looks pretty good in this sanctuary today. You see, something similar to that today. People go out and commit great sins Friday night, and then go sit up in a church Saturday, which is the Sabbath, giving no thought to their past wickedness. I can't understand. I can't understand the thought of people. Now, like I said, we were just like them. We did some of the same stuff, but we repented.
So lucky. Let's get into this thing. Right. So we're gonna get into these satellite harassment, man. Right. So synthetic telepathy, right? Right. So remote neural monitoring. Don't be moved by the multitude. Don't worry about it. All got it. So look, satellite harassment, terrorism, right? So are two sides of the same coin. So remote neural monitoring is a form of functional neural imaging, capable of extracting EEG data from the human brain at a distance with no physical contact or electrodes, right? Required, right? In NSA, what's that? What is that? NSA. I think it's neurological satellite abuse. Yeah, neurological satellite abuse has the capability to decode this data and to extract the sub-vocalization. Right. So let's get into this thing, bro. We look to the hills. Ain't no fear.
So if you're a target, there's virtually nothing you can do.
We look to the hills, baby.
I can disrupt an individual from the level of their cell to their
So
system,
look,
and disrupt
check this out.
individuals on a
Check this
variety
out.
of levels, from individuals all the way up to the social fabric. Target a specific individual, change or eliminate that individual with very little attribution and trace, to be able to leave without any attribution.
Who here actually feels like they are under surveillance pretty regularly? Everyone is kind of occupied. How many people here have been arrested and had at their court date, they had their phone taken into the back room? How many people here had their retina scanned? Wow.
If you're targeting demonstrators, you make them suicidally depressed.
See that? You gotta know we demonstrated. That's why the pressure is on. You guys to know. You guys to know. Man. So look.
They don't care about demonstrators
and
anymore because they.
You heard what the Ock just said. They gonna try to defile us. They gonna continue to try to corrupt us. They gonna continue, bro. You gotta know we here. So baby, let's get into it, man. Ain't nothing to a giant, man. Word to all, ain't nothing to a giant.
Too upset. With one pulse frequency, you can just make people so suicidal they can't be bothered to act like a demonstrator anymore. All they want to do is sleep or lay in bed all day.
There's an infrastructure in place in the United States and worldwide that NSA has built in cooperation with their governments as well, that intercepts basically every digital communication, every radio communication, every analog communication that it has sensors in place to detect.
If they can't get it through the internet, through the tapping of the lines or anything like that, through a commercial means, and they're unsure about you, they can get it by close access means, coming in and actually bugging your house or bugging your, putting monitors in your system, in your house or on your computer. They can use your computer video to look back at you, or they can monitor within a certain distance the keystrokes you're making on your computer or what you're putting on your computer screen. And if that's not enough, they can come in through the firewall you think you have but don't, and go through your operating system that you think protects you but doesn't, and read your encrypted email that you thought was secure but isn't. Or they can simply wait for you to do decrypts if you've done that, pull them off, and use your unused CPU while you're on the computer to drain it. It's called active attack.
We are in a new Cold War, and this is why countries are developing this. I mean, really developing this. And this is why all of the microwave transmitters are going up everywhere. Because somebody, if they wanted to, could use them for other effects. The system is up and running.
MIT was awarded a number of years ago to Woody Norris. This is 2005 or 2006. And that award was $500,000 for doing what's called acoustic heterodyning, being able to send a signal from 2 points into an individual so they literally hear a voice in their head that nobody around them hears.
I mean, voices are the easiest ones because all you have to do is stimulate the cochlea with a set resonant frequency. It's very easy. Voices are very easy. And it isn't people imagining voices, they physically hear them. You can physically make people hear voices, certain voices, and it can be any conversation, and it can be anybody you want to hear. It can be a soft, angelic voice, it can be a god, it can be something that scares you like a devil. It could be anything.
DARPA let a couple of contracts back in 2011, 2012, the University of California, for what's called electronic telepathy, being able to monitor the brain activity of human beings at a distance and determine what they're thinking. And then on a second contract, actually developing complex signals, being able to send them into the brain of another person, literally transmit a message. This is where the technology is today.
What we're here to talk about today is the fact that the brain is and will be the 21st century battlescape in many ways. End of story. You will encounter some form of neurocognitive science that has been weaponized not only in your military career, but in your personal and professional lives. It is valid, valuable, and already in operational play. The brain is the current and future battle space. What's new about this is the in-close nature of this. Increasingly, we're not seeing these things as weapons of mass destruction against gross aspects of the population. More specifically, perhaps, might be targeting individuals on a level that allows either direct attribution or covert engagement with non-attribution. Formal definition of a weapon, probably the one that you've heard about most recently, most contemporaneously in the literature, is the possibility to use some form of directed energy to affect physiology peripherally and also to affect the physiology and health of the brain. Case in point here, U.S. Embassy personnel in Havana, possibly in China. Clearly, one of the things we can also do is transcranial neuromodulation, the idea of going through the skull to modulate the node network activity of the brain, to implant certain brain-machine interfaces. Many of the DARPA programs that you may hear of now, probably the one that is most notorious, is something called the N3 program, the non-invasive neurosurgical neuromodulation program, being run by their program manager, Dr. Al Mundy. The idea here is to put minimal sized electrodes in a network of the brain to minimal intervention to be able to read and write into the brain function in real time, remotely, by affecting the way that brain is built and the way it functions. Influence in ways that are kinetic and non-kinetic. The attitudes, beliefs, thoughts, emotions, activities. Look at the power that understanding tools, techniques that the brain sciences afford.
If you want to cause a specific psychiatric illness, you would have an infrared device that followed the person, and you would link it to a pencil-thin microwave source, so the microwave beam would always target a specific gland or a specific part of the brain or an eye or a heart. So you would have them being targeted.
So if you're a target, there's virtually nothing you can do. And if they fail in their electronic means, they can always send the FBI at you to do a sneak and peek and take your photograph or do whatever they want. As they have done with us, by the way.
So you guys are actually, in a sense, the canaries in the coal mine, right? Because the incentives are all lined up against you. Anybody see on the subway, link your MetroCard to your debit card, right? And like auto refill. This is the concept which is key to everything we'll talk about today, and it's called linkability. Take one piece of data and link it to another piece of data. So for example, if you have your MetroCard and you have your debit card, you have those things and you can draw a line between them, right? So that's like not a scary thing, except your bank card is tied to everything else that you do during the day.
So if you're a target, there's virtually nothing you can do.
I can disrupt an individual from the level of their cell to their system, and disrupt individuals on a variety of levels, from individuals all the way up to the social fabric. Target a specific individual, change or eliminate that individual with very little attribution and trace, and be able to leave prior to any attribution.
Who here actually feels like they are under surveillance pretty regularly? Everyone inside of Occupy. How many people here have been arrested and had at their court date, they had their phone taken into the back room? How many people here had their retina scanned?
If you're targeting demonstrators, you make them suicidally depressed. and they don't care about demonstrating anymore because they're too upset with one point like a demonstrator anymore. All they want to do is sleep or lay in bed all day.
There's an infrastructure in place in the United States and worldwide that NSA has built in cooperation with other governments as well, that intercepts basically every digital communication, every radio communication, every analog communication that it has sensors in place to detect.
If they can't get it through the internet, through the tapping of the lines or anything like that, through a commercial means, and they're unsure about you, they can get it by close access means, coming in and actually bugging your house or bugging your, or putting monitors in your system, in your house or on your computer. They can use your computer video to look back at you, or they can monitor within a certain distance the keystrokes you're making on your computer or what you're putting on your computer screen. And if that's not enough, they can come in through the firewall you think you have but don't, and go through your operating system that you think protects you but doesn't, and read your encrypted email that you thought was secure but isn't. Or they can simply wait for you to do decrypts if you've done that, pull them off, and use your unused CPU while you're on the computer to drain it. It's called active attack.
We are in a new and this is why countries are developing this. I mean, really developing this. And this is why all of the transmitters are going up everywhere. Because somebody, if they wanted to, could use them. The system is up and running.
MIT was awarded a number of years ago to Woody Norris. This is 2005 or 2006. And that award was $500,000 for doing what's called acoustic heterodyning, being able to send a signal from 2 points into an individual so they literally hear a voice in their head that nobody around them hear.
I mean, voices are the easiest one. If they want to experiment on you, by the thousands they will. You can be driven to insanity and death, and you just become a ticket box without any so much as a feeling. Yeah, and this is what they do, and this is why they are above the law. One of the experiments was to take an ordinary sane person, cause insanity, and have a psychiatrist who was unknown to everybody diagnose schizophrenia, a psychiatric illness. That was a successful outcome. And in an asylum, in misery, but to the government scientists, that was a success.
We also see the use of biodata as a bioweapon. Manipulating biodata so that I can then put into your particular medical records subtle information that may change the disposition of whether you're sick or not. Change how you're treated. Influence the postures that go to you in terms of insurance, care, liability for military service. By altering that information, by changing those data, by purloining those data, I essentially change. I can do that in very subtle ways. Furthermore, I can do that on a variety of different levels. I can affect key individuals, so I can affect your medical record changes to thereby render you incapable, or at least invalid to be able to serve the way you're serving. Or I can do that on a much larger scale, groups, populations. And if I change those data, I change the way you're being regarded and treated. And I can do that in one of two ways. I can do it in such a way that you're going to be regarded in a negative way, or I can do it in such a way that I'm going to treat you correctly. If I say, for example, you have a particular allergy, we have a particular disorder, you will be treated for that, and that could then harm your health and your stability. A short wars approach as well as a long wars approach.
Low-level microwaves were causing an enormous amount of cancers and leukemias and ill effects. And by then, everybody was leaping onto the microwaves as stealth weapons, and they go from there, which was the 50s, right up to and including the present day.
I guess my my frustration is why I couldn't get through to government, members of government, in the House, Senate, or in the judiciary, or in the administration, or in the Inspector General's office or anywhere to actually start to realize what they were doing is stand up and say something. That was kind of the really frustrating part, but she thought.
Dr. Jose Delgado demonstrated remote control over a charging bull. By connecting a radio antenna to electrodes inserted into the bull's brain, Delgado proved that the animal's aggressive impulses could be thwarted by electronically manipulating the muscle reflexes.
Realize the fantastic possibilities if from the outside we could modify the inside. Could we give messages to the inside? But the beauty is that now we are not using electrodes.
In recent years, Delgado has shown that the behavior of monkeys can be altered using low-power, pulsating magnetic fields. In these experiments, there were no antenna implants.
Any function
Delgado's research has so far been limited to animals. But in the Soviet Union, a radio frequency, or RF device, has been used for over 30 years to manipulate the moods of mental patients.
You're gonna be waking up at the home. Ding, 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 ding. Motherfucker got a cat. Or, what you money, bro? I'm gonna tell you, boy, the cat, goddamn. Fool it up. What you money, bro? I'm like, yeah, goddamn. What you want? Phone. Hell, I'm goddamn so quick grabbing, goddamn. God. But you gonna respect, bro. Motherfuckers ain't gonna play with you like that. Yeah, they got motherfucker Ryan. Okay. Oh, we taking the trash out tonight so we can smoke another squad. That's what you doing. Oh, God! Damn. Come and stop.
You already know what you got.
Damn, he got the baked chips from bro ass. I know.
We on the phone, you know.
Damn. He holds fire.
Damn,
He holds fire, cuz. He holds fire. Stop getting your fucking money and come to the real niggas, bro. Alright, appreciate it.
Nigga, they being passionate about that box. They ain't even fucked up about that box. But I got that box too. You know what I'm saying?
Lucky, so we hopping into boom. Let's see.
Come on.
Let's see.
Damn, I see why you charging $2. Them bitches damn near bad fuck on bro. Bitches big as hell.
How much fence for? What? A bit. It's a good party, I'm good. Shit, let me get another buddy.
Okay. I think the big sodas, 2 can sodas, 1. Shit, chips, 1. Shit, depending on how size the case is, we get 2. Nigga, make sure he. Yeah, that's good thing. He making some money out that shit. A lot of good money.
Lucky, so.
I don't know how the fuck y'all get out there pen, bro. Have munching, bro. I can't do it. Bro, what you mean? Nigga, bro, I don't never go. I be loaded off that bitch. Ain't gonna lie. I don't know if it's cause I be in here or what, nigga.
You see, I'm talking about
Oh, bro. You ain't even got one, do you know?
Take it out.
You ain't even got your pen, do you?
The individual TIs who are being gang stalked, hyper-gamed, they are beta tests. This is being done to gather data on how to apply it to the masses all at once. They're learning. We're in the process where they're building their entire infrastructure to run a whole human race.
And they had created a digital model of Earth and everybody in it, down to a digital GPS coordinate model, to even a vertical dimension of 1.5 centimeters, every building, every roadway, everything. And what they want to do is create an Internet of Things where in digital space they know exactly what you're doing in real time.
This is an article from 10 years ago. Sentient World, War Games on the Grandest Scale. The DoD is developing a parallel to planet Earth with billions of individual nodes to reflect every man, woman and child this side of the dividing line between reality and AR.
humanity will have their brains connected to artificial intelligence, and human consciousness, human thought, human emotion as we've known it will be over. Because every thought, every emotional response will come from AI. He who controls AI will then control every human's perceptions directly who is connected to AI. In other words, you'll be a computer terminal on someone else's internet.
They're using two interfaces, like we said, the brain-to-computer interface. That's the supercomputer, the sophisticated and advanced exascale system. Downloads all of your, all electromagnetic activity, all these synaptic responses, the electromagnetic emissions of the victim's brain is downloaded. So they can download it back into a database as they build. As a supercomputer is programmed to build using various software programs a cognitive model of your brain.
And what we're here trying to do here, your friends and family, this organization, is to use this precious knowledge to build machines that can actually create, manipulate, and use these parallel realities. They want to grab those parallel realities from this abstract space in which they live and crunch them down into this chip.
To eventually achieve and then based on that cognitive model being complete, to begin to be able to predict and influence in advance the reference choices of the victim during the victim is formulating his thoughts and preparing to act. The supercomputer already has that persona inside you, all your emotional state downloaded, every vector of your emotional state downloaded, so I can already predict and influence those events in your life in advance and achieve direct control over you.
They're putting in the 5G systems that literally will slowly kill our humanity while they control us as biological androids. They now say we're going to merge the machines. They now say that we are the robots.
Teleoperation allows the human to provide guidance to the robot to move in a way that we find good. Now let's say I'm a human pilot, Wizard of Ozing the robot. If I wanted to pick something up from the table as a robot, my teleoperator would look down, look at the field of view, look up, look at their hand,
I don't know what it was.
feel the tactile sensors in the hand, close the hand on the object, and pick it up. So having something that's a human makes that a lot easier.
Because of my responsibilities in surveillance as a otherwise normal security specialist, I was shown technology at work. And it was through the perspective, of course, of the camera, and what I was told that it was obvious was being used through the eyes of the target. So I have seen it. And it is absolutely remarkable. It's just like a first-person, video game or something where you see right through the eyes of the individual.
Now let's say I'm a human pilot
we finna go
who's using the robot. Obviously, computers are better at things than people in lots of different ways. So now imagine, not only can they do everything that a human can do, but they can do everything that the best human at any task can do better.
In 2003, they launched what's called the AI system, which is a intelligent supercomputer with the intelligence of a human being. In other words, a smart human being, but able to think 10 trillion times faster, with the access to all known knowledge and history, and complete access to the internet and all of the communication pathways.
So you're dealing with a system of remote neural networks. That's what's targeting you. Okay, remote neural networks. Okay, well, they will inflict an emotion of their own.
Integrated into a package that consolidates them in human form. So everything that's ever been built in the history of AI, you can pack into one of these machines and give that capability to a human-like robot. So the form factor doesn't limit you in using these things. You can still use all the techniques of modern AI. So if I was a robot, stood up on stage, and my teleoperating pilot did this, my robot would do that, and now I can look over there, and now I can look over there.
As far as I'm aware, it's real time. There may be a second or two delay, but it is as it is happening. They can actually see through the eyes of the target. It's done all remotely. And that is rendered, of course, in essentially real time on a computer screen. And then it is to the point where it's so accurate, you can actually see the individual pores on someone's face, see scars and nicks and so forth. And so you can understand how, if you had several people, for example, that you were able to do this, you can see through their eyes in a room or on a street corner or within an office building, wherever it is. You can get total situational awareness
simply by looking through their eyes, and you can see through basically it's like being 3 or 4 or 5 different people all at the same time.
The world outside of us is very big. This room, say, is much bigger than my head. But somehow, in some real sense, I have the room inside my head. And it's not just the room, it's the city. And it's not just the city, it's the country. It's not just the country, I can think of the whole planet.
And it's highly, highly valuable.
See, this that D-Wave shit right here.
Purposes,
This
military
that
purposes,
PSYOP,
corporate
mind
espionage
wars,
purposes. And
telephone
it is amazing
networks,
the extent to
internet
which this
global
technology
network,
works.
neurological
It's so
warfare.
far advanced beyond what most people are aware of. It's truly mind-blowing. And I think that's a big part of educating people, is making them understand that, fortunately or unfortunately, this is possible and it is being done right now today.
So how is this possible? And what I want to point out is the size. So my head's small. Well, not too small. Small. Small compared to all that. How is it possible that all that's in here? And what's come to be understood in the cutting edge of modern AI is that there is a really interesting, fascinating answer to this. And it has to do with the fact that the world has patterns, structure. So you may be familiar with fractals. So fractals look very complicated, but they're generated by a tiny little thing that you can write down in a few numbers. And the world is like this. Images, like natural images, like what I'm looking at, have so much structure that they can be shrunk and compressed into a very tiny, what AI people call representation. So what our brains seem to do is build a very, very good compressed representation of the world. Call it a model. So just like if I have a building and there's like a blueprint or a scale model of the building, imagine I have the whole world and all of its concepts, and I shrink it down into this weird compressed representation so that it fits inside my brain.
The exact same thing happens with the computer. The data is sent to the computer, then it is rendered, and from what I understand, that's where this technology is right now. The cutting edge is trying to marry, the software that's used to render it on the computer and the actual detecting of the signal and the hacking of the signal within the human mind.
And of course, part of that program is Obama's BRAIN initiative, a multi-billion-dollar program. DARPA's got a huge chunk of that.
Is there progress in the BRAIN initiative? Is this investment, the public investment, yielding important new insights?
Well, so far it has actually it's resulted in the development of a full brain scale activity map of what goes on in the brain as we do various things, seeing into the brain, and for being able to manipulate the activities of the brain to, in a sense, mimic them and maybe supply them artificially.
Check it out. So, yeah, man, I'm just getting into it. That was the neuromorphic computing, right? Right. He said the structure of neuromorphic chips is based off of neurons. So look. Lucky. I'm gonna get right back. I'm gonna get back into the judo now.
Here, I'll let you hold it. Would you like to hold it?
I'll hold it.
Okay.
Let's get any warfare.
So,
You guys see it?
this pill has a small chip inside of it with a switch.
It also has what amounts to an inside-out potato battery. When you swallow it, the acids in your stomach serve as the electrolyte, and they power it up, and the switch goes on and off. And it creates an 18-bit ECG-like signal in your body, and essentially your entire body becomes your authentication token. Yes, this is true. Okay? Okay, so wait. So it's really true. So what this means is that becomes my first superpower. I really want this superpower. It means that my arms are like wires, my hands are like alligator clips. When I touch my phone, my computer, my door, my car, I'm authenticated in. First superpower. Like, I want that.
So we're not shipping that right away.
Yeah, no. We're not shipping that right away. But it sounds like...
This is FDA cleared?
So here's the thing. This is not science fiction. This pill was actually made by a company called Proteus, and they've developed it for medical applications. That pill has been CE stamped and cleared by the FDA. You can take 30 of those per day for the rest of your life.
And then what happens? Does your heart beat change?
We can just tell that you've taken the pill. I mean, the medical application.
Does Google now know everything I do and everywhere I go? Because let's face it, we like you guys, but you're from Google.
Just give him some water and let him take that pill.
Thanks. Maybe Dennis should. Dennis, let me ask you, does Larry make you take one?
It's optional. So we actually have demoed this working and authenticating a phone.
Made by MC10, and it has an antenna and some sensors embedded in it. And what we plan to do is work with them to advance a tattoo that could be used for authentication. Now, it may be true that 10 to 20-year-olds don't want to wear a watch on their wrist, but you can be sure that they'll be far more...
Well, you see it, man. You see that. So, what else we gonna hop into? Alright. Five is actors, okay. We finna hop into it. Okay,
so detox. So I love detox baths. They take care of radiation poisoning, they take care of pesticides, they take care of heavy metals, all kinds of things, even some parasites. So if you got a bathtub, you know someone's got a bathtub, that's the easiest, fastest way. Good old baking soda. So 1 or 2 cups of baking soda, 1 or 2 cups of Epsom salts in there. That already is a wonderful radiation detox. It gets fungus, yeast out of your body as well. You add a little bit of bentonite clay. Aztec Secret is a wonderful brand, 1/2 to 1 cup. Now you've also got a major bowl of poison coming out. You add in 1 cup of borax, you know, that laundry detergent. That'll take nanotechnology out of you. You scrub down, 20 minutes, as hot as you tolerate it, right? I'm just getting a new website started, carriemade.com, M-A-D-E-J. I'll put all the detoxes, everything I do is for...
Shit, them, he really has no type of what you call on him. Okay, so we gonna get in this. Yeah, that's what I would mean to get into yesterday. So. Okay, hold on. Like, I bet, so we finna hop into this shit.
We here to see you. 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 And what wrong with shit?
Should have a bid for that though. Guess not. Okay. Okay, it's lucky. So we back on BitU.
Sudden, unexplained brain injuries with symptoms of vertigo, confusion, and memory loss. The CIA, FBI, and State Department are investigating a theory that some of these officials were injured by an unseen weapon. Who might be targeting Americans and why?
When electromagnetic warfare strikes government officials, they call it a syndrome. But when it strikes the average citizen, it's a conspiracy theory. What's interesting to notice is that with all of these videos from the mainstream media talking about the Havana syndrome, there are endless comments from people saying that it's happening to them. This is a worldwide conspiracy affecting millions of people. Unfortunately, their voices will never be heard. These people are screaming in the night, and no one can hear them. No one will believe them. We're expected to believe them when it's happening to the government officials, but when it's happening to regular people, we're told to not. What's interesting here is that most recently, the United Nations has recognized this type of attack as cyber torture, a new term coined by
Damn, why you speak on Lulu, bro?
Cyber torture. Crimes against humanity where millions of targeted victims worldwide remotely assaulted with electromagnetic weapons. And when you listen to what the victims have to say, it's absolutely devastating. It destroys their lives. Many of them become homeless,
He probably gonna let that bitch melt in the microwave.
paranoid. And of course it has
Get so high, he put the goddamn noodles in a bowl and just put it in the
a
microwave.
very negative effect
Oh shit,
on their
honey!
well-being.
Goddamn. The noodle bar.
Countless people have been not only tortured, but
I used to do that shit like that.
killed by these weapons. The end result looks like a heart attack, looks like a stroke, looks like natural causes. And so there's never a news article. Deep State, Secret Service, New World Order takes out another activist, takes out another citizen in the name of tyranny, in the name of evil,
What's the word?
in the name of dozens of victims. You're talking about millions and millions of covert operatives sneaking around irradiating people.
Nigga, they'll come get you.
What we've come to realize is that while
they kinda got me.
special ops crews might be conducting some of these activities, reconnaissance, setting up a location,
Bro, shit. Maya from the cello comes
there's
up
a high
here.
probability
She
that
said she
this
gonna come over here for me on the game.
torture is automated in nature, like cell phone communications. You can make a call wherever you want to because
Maya said she
the cell phones are the cell towers are tracking you. The cell phones are tracking you as well. They know your location, and wherever you are, they communicate.
Shut the fuck up.
Hand off from tower to tower, hand off from location to location.
That's all I need, really.
Essentially
somebody that I can
following
see
you
to
wherever you go without you really thinking about it. Without really.
They got a whole thing of condoms at wellness. Shit.
And so this seamless coverage
So you think they give us the condoms
that we
just so
associate
we
with
use
wireless
them,
communications can also be applied to
the weak ass lifestyle.
because essentially we're talking about the same type of technology,
I got straight
the
magnums
same
in my
type of
shit.
tracking, the same type of seamless integration into people's lives wherever they go.
You didn't believe me? I believe you. You see it.
People being tortured by other people, but essentially people are being tortured by machines, networks, computers, cell phones, routers, cell towers, even
Man, see you thinking a little too slow, goddamn.
other forms of transmitters, such as
How much
radar.
everything? Oh, the bottles is two.
And so how does a network like this
I got one
work?
$2.
Perhaps something like peer-to-peer
Everything else one though, they're confident out there goddamn day.
sharing, except that
What I'm throwing or the
information that's being shared
He threw up last time. He can finish throw.
is targeting information like a computer virus that commandeers network devices. You've heard of smart cities, you've heard of the Internet of Things. This is the Internet of Things tracking you and irradiating you because you're on the list. And essentially that's all that it would take to have your profile added to a list, and the system it knows your voice, it knows morphology, what you look like, how you walk. In fact, these
Bro, I'm telling you, when you come over here, niggas so
they can
funny, bro. I
recognize you by your
swear.
heartbeat. No cell phone,
Come over here. Bro, tell him to come up here, bro.
no other identification required.
We ain't even lit yet, nigga. We
Facial recognition
information.
Oh God, nigga, we get our
Notice how all credit cards have microchips now. They can even send tags on your clothes.
Tell me, bro, come over here, bro.
But this system has a million ways of tracking you wherever you go. And of course, people assume, for the most part, that it's the neighbors, it's the people next door, it's the building next door. And it is, but it's their router. It's the Skynet, it's the NSA, it's the deep state that is targeting people. Once you become an enemy of the state, the process is automated.
Hey, I'm gone, brother.
Automated for elimination.
I gotta put my phone on charge.
And the end result looks like a stroke, looks like heart attack. But millions of people have experienced the symptoms of cyber torture.
Good price, sir. I appreciate it, man.
Heart palpitations, headaches, sharp pains, body aches. And so, the list of natural causes goes on and on. But when you hear the victim impact statements, it gives you an idea of just how widespread this phenomenon is. It's coming in from all over America, Florida, the honey trap, California, West Coast, the big cities. But we're getting testimony from all over the world. Just about every country has reported symptoms like the Havana syndrome. People all over the world have been reporting the effects of
dealing with the assimilation,
electromagnetic warfare. They molest you, they rape you, especially while you sleep. They try to tire you out. If you've ever woken up extremely fatigued or dehydrated, it's because they've been cooking you all night, slow cooking you, if you're not a huge priority. And there's no telling how many people have been victimized and they don't even know it. But this is so widespread. And this is all the more reason to suspect that they can emulate pandemics through energy weapon attacks. They can just light up a zip code, light up an area code, light up a city, and simulate a pandemic due to radiation poisoning. Lots of reports from the UK. Essentially, when we track the timeline, this has been spanning for 20 years, starting in the West Coast, progressively getting worse and more intricate. Now they can invade your dreams. Now they can invade your thoughts. It seems like people are having conversations in their thought life with chatbots run by the NSA. That's how bad the situation actually is. In fact, it's much worse. But countless people have been victimized by this technology. But the news doesn't report it unless it's happening to somebody.
Boy, it's gonna be the weekend. I'm ready to read a fuck up already, nigga.
Somebody, government.
I still got more than half my
Then they're a little concerned. But everybody should be concerned about what's happening because anybody could be next.
Hey, you finna watch TV with
And
me?
chances are, it's already happening to you.
Bitch ass nigga thought he was on something.
But we've got reports coming in
Pussy nigga try to pay.
from everywhere. And it seems like it became more widespread starting in 2016, perhaps with the rollout of 4G. It became way easier to hit people like this. Perhaps this is when they finished their targeting program or rolled it out to all of the networks.
So it's like now we getting back into this right here, man.
And furthermore, that ye have sent for men
Ezekiel
to come from far,
23.
unto whom a messenger was sent. And lo, they came for whom thou didst wash thyself, paintest thine eyes, and deckest thyself with ornaments, and sattest upon a stately bed, and a table prepared before it, whereupon thou hast set my incense and my oil. And a voice of a multitude being at ease was with her, and with the men of the common sort, who brought Sabians from the wilderness, which put bracelets upon their hands, and beautiful crowns upon their heads. When trouble arrived, our people sought other nations, and not God. They lusted after the nations, and not after God. They turned their face to other nations, and turned their backs to God. They forgot the Most High, and the Most High forgot them. Verse 43. Then said I unto her that was old in adulteries, will they now commit whoredoms with her, and she with them? The Most High is asking a question. The nations that are old in adulteries, will they now commit whoredoms with her, and she with them? Verse 44. Yet they went in unto her as they go in unto a woman that playeth the harlot. So went they in unto Aholah and unto Aholibah, the lewd women, which is Israel. So the nations that were old in adulteries went in unto Aholah and Aholibah, the lewd women, the nation of Israel. Verse 45. And the righteous men, they shall judge them after the manner of adulteresses. After the manner of women that shed blood, because they are adulteresses, and blood is in their hands. So with the sins that northern kingdom, Aholah, and southern kingdom, Aholibah, committed, there are sins that require death. So the Most High will kill them and remove them from the land, because you have to remove sin from the land. Verse 46. For thus saith the Lord Almighty, I will bring up a company upon them, and will give them to be removed and spoiled. And the company shall stone them with stones, and dispatch them with their swords. They shall slay their sons and their daughters, and burn up their houses with fire. So the Most High caused the punishment to come up on Israel, both Aholah, northern kingdom, and Aholibah, southern kingdom. Verse 48. Thus will I cause lewdness to cease out of the land, and all women may be taught not to do after their lewdness. That all women may be taught not to do your lewdness. So the main idea of this chapter is to teach women not to do as the women of the days of old. This is a lesson, ladies, that you should pay close attention to. Everybody lusts, but you need to control your lust and not act out on your lust. Verse 49. And they shall recompense your lewdness upon you, and ye shall bear the sins of your idols, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Almighty. It can be a good thing to know that the Most High is the Lord Almighty, and it could be a bad thing to know that the Yahweh is the Lord Almighty. You need to keep that in mind. So the main idea of this chapter is to teach women not to do as the women of the days of old. When you look at our women that were around during the 50s and 60s, you see today that they are off the chain. The women today cannot compare to those women of the 50s and 60s. We dress respectably in most cases. Now, we still had some hoochies back then, but for the most part, as a people, we were respectable. The same wicked women that lived in the time past, ancient days, are living today and have not learned anything and don't want to learn anything and will pay for their poor judgment, because the Most High said, they shall recompense your lewdness upon you, and ye shall bear the sins of your idols. Meaning, all the unrighteous things you've lusted after, and ye shall know that he is the Lord Almighty.
Hey.
Peace is real.
You gonna help me out of the way? My number, I got a question. Tell her it's about what she gave me earlier. She gonna know what she's talking about. Just give her my number.
Why was God going to kill Moses? A Torah event is found in Exodus 4:24-26, and it's one of the most mysterious events in the Torah. The event, frankly, runs counter to our modern logic. During this time, God came to kill Moses after God commissioned him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. The Old Testament recognizes Moses as an important figure chosen to save God's people. On the other hand, Abraham, also known as the father of the faithful, received God's unconditional covenant of grace. God specifically chose Moses to lead the Israelites from captivity in Egypt to the promised land, where they would find salvation. Additionally, Moses is known as a mediator of the Old Covenant, and is often referred to as the one who gave the law. Finally, Moses is the principal author of the Pentateuch, the foundational books of the entire Bible. Moses' role in the Old Testament is a type and shadow of Jesus' role in the New Testament. As such, his life is worth examining. We first encounter Moses in the opening chapters of the book Exodus. Despite being born to a Hebrew slave, he was adopted by the Egyptian royal family. However, he left Egypt and became an outcast. He fled to the desert, where God prepared him for the important role he would play in the future. The next major incident in Moses' life was his encounter with God at the burning bush, where God called Moses to be his people's savior. Exodus 3:1-10. Amplified Bible. Now Moses was keeping the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led his flock to the west side of the wilderness and came to Aholah, Sinai, the mountain of God. The angel of the Lord appeared to him in a blazing flame of fire from the midst of the bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush was on fire, yet it was not consumed. So Moses said, I must turn away from the flock and see this great sight, why the bush is not burned up. When the Lord saw that he turned away from the flock to look, God called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. Then God said, Do not come near. Take your sandals off your feet, out of respect, because the place on which you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Then Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have in fact seen the affliction, suffering, desolation of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because of their taskmasters, oppressors. For I know their pain and suffering, so I have come down to rescue them from the hand, power of the Egyptians, and to bring them up from that land.
So like you, what I'm finna... So, like I was getting into today, right now, without coming out with he bringing out the Egyptian and the Babylonian sexual perversion worship right now. was being used. It's being used to double cross. It's being used to just to pervert people. It's being used on all many levels. But while I'm letting this live play, I'm gonna finish what I need to get in my notes, and then we're gonna come back and finish that. And we good.
For the sexual partners I done had up until this time.
Mia.
You understand that? So it's not about love. It's not about the fruits of the ruach. It's all about your flesh. It's self-centeredness. It's selfishness. Self-pleasure. Self-desire. See, so this thing here is dangerous. It's a dangerous game to play. It's a dangerous game to play to let somebody try you out sexually or try someone out sexually to make the determination on whether you gonna be with this person or not. Only to see you was never gonna be with them to begin with. Because after the sex, there's nothing left to look forward to. See that? That's why sex is the last thing. Sex consummates the marriage. Sex seals the marriage. That's why sex is only for marriage. If you got the highlight of it before the marriage, well, why do you need the marriage? And that's the mentality. See, y'all knew that. He knows that once you get only what you're supposed to get as a reward and as a pleasurable activity in the marriage, outside the marriage, you wouldn't want to get married because you done got everything that you're supposed to get in the marriage outside of the marriage. So why even get married? So now we could just, you see what I'm saying? So it's either going to go like this. Either I'm going to be with you, shacking up for 10, 20, 30 years without ever getting married. Because sex is not marriage. You just been living a whole life. You just been living 10, 20, 30, 40 years fornicating. That's what you've been living. So don't give me that about sex is marriage. No, sex consummates. It consummates. Sex consummates. It seals the marriage. But it's not the marriage. See, the marriage comes in when you give your life over to that. You give your life over with the person you're marrying to Yah, and the vows, what you vow to do for this person, with this person, with Yah, recording everything you said you was gonna do with this person and for this person, even when it no longer suits your physical desires. Meaning it's spiritual. So now if you done got the physical experience and the pleasure of this spiritual transaction and this spiritual covenant, if you got the physical side of it first, and you don't even know that the physical side that you got outside the marriage opens you up spiritually anyway. That's the reason why he says that the sexual activity itself is in the marriage where it's already protected spiritually. Because if you partake in sexual practices and sexual activity outside of the marriage, well then through this sexual activity, you open yourselves up spiritually anyway. But then Yah's not in your sexual union and your sexual activity with this partner spiritually. You see that? So the whole time they've been shacking up, they've been fornicating the whole time. Sexual lust demons all in and out the house, all in and out the person, the people involved. I mean, just wreaking havoc. Because until they seal the deal, until they repent and close them demonic doorways and get married under Yah's perfect blueprint of marriage, right? Them sexual demons are always going to be tormenting that relationship. Because they opened up the door spiritually through their unnatural, perverted sexual practice. See what I'm saying? They already opened up the door for spirits to attack them and oppress them and obsess them and possess them. They've already done that. Right? And many of us are still getting our lives together because of these sexual lust spirits that we done had dragging us down, connecting to us all this time. We done had these sexual lust spirits connected to us, dragging us down all this time. And some people are still trying to get their lives together from years and years of fornicating and cheating and unnatural sexual practices and shack-ups and hookups and friends with benefits and situationships and broken hearts. And see, people still trying to get over that. Baby mamas and baby daddies and see, divorces, and people are still getting over that. People still have not gotten their lives together from a long life of sexual immorality, fornication, adultery, and all of the other stuff that goes right along with it. Some people, you see, and some people don't even know the reason why their lives still are not together. Because you still got this sexual spirit. That's why your life's still not together. Your life is still not together out of all that you done did. You done moved to a new house, a new apartment, got you a new job, got your promotion, and you still in the same spot. Because you still got that sexual spirit. See, and with your new job and your new house and your new whatever you think you have around you that's going to give you the ultimate fulfillment, you getting ready to acquire you another sexual soul tie that's getting ready to drag you right back down. So you see, you can never get ahead. That same life of sexual immorality, fornication, pornography, and that same life. Some people orgies, swingers. See, that same life. And it goes nowhere. It goes absolutely nowhere until you die, till you dead, and then hell. See, so you see how the sexual spirit it keeps you on a treadmill. That sexual spirit, that sexual perversion, that demonic, lustful sexual spirit just keeps you on a treadmill of life. You never go anywhere. Meanwhile, while this sexual spirit got you running in place on a treadmill of the kingdom of darkness, it's draining you. It's draining you until you dead. Boom! And then your spirit goes back to Yah, your spirit and your soul. See, where your soul will be, it will be in Yah's possession, but it will be with you in torment. That's how you'll be feeling the torment. You understand what I'm saying? But your body will be lifeless and soulless because your mind, your will, and your emotions will be in torment. See? So that's what the sexual lust spirit does. That's what sexual immorality does. It keeps you running on the treadmill of life, going around in a circle, just running and running and running and running and running and running. And the few things you get running on the treadmill is only to keep you distracted, giving you the illusion that you got something and that you gaining momentum and that you are moving up the ladder and that you are making a life for yourself and that you have been promoted and you elevating. See what I'm saying? So along the way on that treadmill of sexual immorality, yeah, you get a few extra dollars over here. Yeah, you get a new house over there. Yeah, you get a new car over here. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then you get another shack up and another hook up and another situationship and another friend with benefits, and then boom, it all drains you till you're dead, right on the treadmill, and now you are going to Sheol in hell. That's where you're going. Till the final judgment, only for you to be resurrected to get your final judgment back down to hell in the lake of fire for eternity. That's just what this is. Okay, I'm done. Verse 9. Idol worshiping all your favorite superstars who are worshiping all these other gods, and see, you idol yourself. You idolize yourself. You your own idol. You love yourself so much that you're gonna throw you a party every day, every weekend. You just so in love with yourself. You got to take a million selfies, got to take videos of yourself, and got to take videos of your cars and your houses and your jewelry and your money and your position and your awards and rewards and medals and trophies and all of that. See, you just steeped in idolatry. Yeah. See? So if you're an idolater, meaning even including yourself, you will not go to heaven. You will. See, let me make it plain. See, even to say you will not inherit the kingdom of Elohim, that sounds too sophisticated for some people. That's sophisticated. So let me make it plain. If you love yourself too much, if you idolize yourself like you are the best thing since sliced bread, you will not go to heaven. If you put yourself before Yah, you will not be going to heaven. If you think yourself is so important that you are before studying Yah's word and praying to him and building a relationship with him and becoming his instead of you becoming yourself and becoming who you want yourself to be, if you die in that state, you will not go to heaven. So don't even look there. No adulterers. See, adulterers will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of Elohim. You're cheating on your spouse, you a cheater. You're a cheater. And don't think adultery is just physical. No, it's heart too. Heart. Because remember now, you could be sexually immoral and never touch a woman, never touch a man. But you're watching porn. See that? Sexually immoral. Adulterers. No men who have sex with men. Homosexual, the term homosexual might be too sophisticated for some people to understand. So let's just make it plain. Men who have sex with men. You will not inherit the kingdom of Yah. No, you will not. No, you will not.
You were just fucking happy, smiling, laughing, talking.
I never understood. Now I gotta say this. When I was younger, I never said this. I never even thought to say it. But you know what I always thought when I was young? I always thought, why would a man want to have sex with another man? I never understood that. I mean, what is that? Like a man liking another man? I just never, I never understood it. And I wasn't supposed, you're not supposed to, because it's perverted, it's unnatural, it's not normal. And see, and then I started thinking, well, two men together, what could come out of that except for doo-doo? Except for another man's doo-doo. What else? Dookie. What else you gonna get? What else you gonna get? But feces. The smell of it. A drop of it. What else you gonna get?
What is nigga? What you say?
What else you getting?